Morning, guys. Morning. A few more seconds, we'll get started. Okay, it's past, get started. A couple of guys talking about recording just popped up there. The recording is placed on the portal. If you go to the social media YouTube area on the portal, there you'll find the recording with the full dates, etc., and times. So if you ever want to go and look at the recording, or you missed it and you want to go back to it, it's all posted on YouTube there, the portal. Okay. Right, let's get started. Yeah, I've got a trade out today. We've got the outlook trading yesterday. It's just pretty aggressive around about the 2028 mark. It's come back a little bit, but thought it's good enough to try it out at 2021. This is a 4-hour chart, and I thought 2021 would be the good entry, which it did in fact reach there. just about reached there anyway. Nearest damn it, and then had a little bit of a bounce. So that's the trade on the gold, but that was on the 4-hour. The Dow was another one. It's a channel, just go to daily there. And the idea is the channel seems to be holding. So at the moment, we thought that was like a bit on the downside. So anyway, so that trade, there's a sell on the micro with a pretty wide stop. So I think it's at 33.8, 33.8, somewhere, yeah, just above these guys here. Okay, so well, see how that goes. Okay. Anyway, they're all posted to you, so you've all got the details. If you'd like to, you like it. If you don't, well, you don't have. One I'm looking at potential is this one here. I'm hoping, like I said last time, to get it run about the 150. So it's just came pretty close to it just now, actually, probably about 10 or 15 minutes ago. And I thought it's coming there, so maybe we should be a bit patient and hopefully you can get it around about these sort of levels here, so even a little bit better, something like that. But I think some potential trades setting up here, if you like the look of this one, for a buy, but see if we can get it and hope it doesn't suddenly jump over and miss the boat, but that's what I'm looking at the moment. Okay, now that's about it, really. As I mentioned yesterday in the afternoon trading room, actually, to be honest, I'm glad the guys who did the CPI made some money, but the overall bigger picture, I was extremely disappointed in the fact that the results, actual figures were virtually the same as expected. That's the least attractive scenario to me. As I said before, you want direction. You don't want to get in the car. Now we sit in the car, ready to rock and roll. Where to? You know, so the same principle, where to? If it was higher, we got direction. If it was lower than expected, we get direction. As a result of it, must have been 3-4 times. Let's miss something. You come up with something, it'd be great. I went through as I do every day, the pairs, etc., and they all seem to be sort of like indecision candles, no man's land, etc., sideways movement. And so, to be honest, I'm a little bit tired of this. I think you guys are as well. It's the lack of direction is really scatty. You don't know, is a bull or a bear? Was a bull this morning, a bear this afternoon, etc. I think it was yesterday. I think it's Far Newsy here at the moment. Not sure. Asked about WTI, and my guess is sideways. Simple as that. I can't give you a particular direction. I think it might go up there a little bit further. Could do, but certainly not enough meat in the bones to think of putting money on it. Down there, if you did, unfortunately, I've been stopped out, although in the profit, to be fair. I get a fairly wide stop. It was over 73, and I put my stop at 72. Came back, unfortunately, stopped me out yesterday. Moved back up again. I'm not going to be keen on chasing it now. It's just not getting going, not enough meat in the bones, etc. And that seemed to be the problem throughout. On a fundamental basis, we're expecting PPI tonight, purchasing production index, and this sort of poor man some of the CPI. So it might have a bit of an effect. See what happens there. And as you know, 1 o'clock is the UK interest rate decision. Almost 30% as expected. Anything higher than that, we'll see some big movement. So there it is. Discussed yesterday from the GBP CHF. If you're in a bit of a profit, make sure you modify your stop to protect. If you're not, well, not much you can do really, unless you want to risk getting out, because it could be a stronger, which is likely a slightly stronger pound as a result of those release of figures. So it's very much sideways at the moment, waiting for it. So if you're caught in the short on it, it might end up being disappointing, because once a confirmed interest rate increase comes out, it's like a bit of a jump. It is confirmed for 0.5%, then we get a serious jump on the pound. So that's the only hassle. On gold, AUSD for shorts. Well, we send out a trade on a buy on gold, so I'm hardly going to advise a short of it, even though it might be the case in the end. It might even be a short. It might even come down. But I can hardly suddenly sit here and suggest we short it after literally about 10, 15 minutes ago, we sent a buy trade out on it, if you see my point. So my view on gold is still to the positive, upside. Most people, I think, would concur with that. There's a lot of fear factor out there. When you get fear, I've just mentioned a couple of times, high inflation, indecision, that sort of thing. A lot of people getting their money into gold. It's like a hedge because it tends to retain its value. and so gold is now starting to glitter again. So yeah, I prefer to be on the long side of it. It's going to take some serious fundamentals to bring it back quite a bit. That happens out of our control, but as it stands at the moment, long is the name of the game, in my opinion. And I think most people would agree with me on that. So be very wary if you want to short it. Be very wary. Okay. AUD USD. This is difficult, to be honest, Tembi. My worry with this is not the AUD selling or buying. It's not my issue. It's the dollar. And the dollar, I think you've all got the index. If you haven't, just let me know on the live chat. I don't have the index, and I'll copy and paste it for you. You have it. You can do that with pleasure, but long as the name begins. That's, of course, that's your choice. That's the whole idea. Is we send an idea out, especially trading suggestion, an idea. If you want to get a better price or whatever, up to you. But anyway, the point is going back to AUD USD. I'm just worried about this dollar. You know what I'm saying? It's not about the Aussie, it's about the dollar. It jumped, it weakened a bit, then it strengthened a bit. Have we got enough directions to feel, for myself, is enough confidence to take a view that the high percentage likelihood it's going to go in that direction and basically maintain. It's always get a bit of up and down noise, but overall maintain that direction. And I can't with confidence do that. I mean, PPI's coming out, and then some other thing might come out, which might strengthen or weaken it. It's a bit of a crystal ball gazing on the dollar at the moment. So for that reason, I'm a little bit gun shy of doing it. Simple as that. That's my opinion anyway. Obviously, we discussed it. If you have a different one, I'd like to hear them, etc. Okay. You hear me? So you're happy with that analysis? Good enough. Fair enough. I'll move on then. The Dow, I'd say, I think it's going to come off. Well, I wouldn't have anything it's come off, but I would send out a sell order. Remember, it's volatile. It's a micro. Not if you go the normal one, it's obviously 10 times the size of the risk, because the contract size only one on here, it's 10 on the other one, as mentioned before. Yeah, it looks like got a bit of a channel there. I took it mainly from the line chart, to be honest, as you can see here. So I think it could be some pullback there, but the stop is above these guys here, so it does jump up a little bit. You've got a wide enough stop, and at 50 odd rand, 55 rand is a micro. You can put your risk accordingly. Okay, so I think there's a bit of downside there. All right, what was mentioned there about NZD-JPY? Okay, probably more of a short than a long, but I don't know what happened there. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at it. It's a day chart, so you're probably looking more at an hourly chart. It's come off a bit, so if you took a bit of a short there, I would probably suspect I'd be more short and long it. I don't know, whatever, but the point, you made some money, so that's great. Jabulani, I don't know, guys. This euro is giving me a bit of a problem. Well, I'll certainly have a look, but the euro has been giving me jip this euro. It's not behaving on a rational basis at the moment. Am I positive on the euro more than the AUD? Yes, I am, but it doesn't seem to much to come to the party to put the data to give an idea. I'm not quite sure why it's given that weakness. Indecision yesterday, there could be some upside. I think maybe I'm gonna be a bit conservative on this one and say I agree with upside in the euro, but I want on this particular pair to wait for it to confirm break above the 50-day moving average. Otherwise, to be honest, Jabulani, I'm a little bit nervous of it. We took a bit of a hit last week on the euro. Interest rates increased, which should be strong for the euro. And Lagarde, the president of the ECB, was stuck with a hawkish stance, which should be good for the euro, yet it came off. Well, that kind of funny thing going on without making a lot of sense. It makes me a little bit nervous, to say the least. So I'm with you. If you're looking at a long, yes, you are, great. Bye. Yeah, if you're looking for a long, I'm with you totally on that one. But because that bit of irrationality creep again, I'm personally suggest maybe wait for a break above the 50, a confirmed break, etc., and then it might be then I'd be more comfortable buying it with a higher probability it'll achieve its target. Okay, that's what I think of it again. Remember, it's what I said. Are you okay with that, Jamalani, or do you disagree, or do you want to go in now? Or anybody want to go in? That's just my opinion. You might think differently. Any comments? All good? Okay. Okay, after that, okay. Which strategy open position now? What do you mean, which strategy? I'm sorry, I'm not quite with you. What do you mean, which strategy? What do you mean by that? I'm not clear what you mean by that. Sorry. It's a bit drifting sideways there as well. I think, you know, if it breaks here, comes up, comes back, tests and breaks, then we've got ourselves a buy, stop down there. I'm not sure I'll be going in now. My strategy would be to stay outside it, leave it alone at this stage anyway.
Sorry, Montla, if I understand you correctly, that do not confirm to the EJS strategy or the EJ strategy. So the other one is just a normal.
Oh, is that what you mean? Oh, that's definitely EJS between the blue and the brown. And on the 1 hour, it is above on the 1 hour, but we're in the neutral zone on the daily. If it goes above there, the EJ will work and hopefully it evaporates. Yeah. But I'm glad you're there, Farley. I mean, I'll be way again the yours. You've been giving me a bit of a tip on you and I both, you know. But that would confirm. I'd be happy to take the euro if it breaks above. And you see some cells already coming in. It's only 40 minutes old this hour, and it's trying to pop up. Cells are coming in. It's very much a sideways range. That's the frustration. That seems to be the case for a lot of them. Are you still in the GBP CHF fund? Or have you managed to get out of it?
No, I'm still in, Roger. I'm in the negative. I actually joined us slightly late and not the correct entry point. So this was my problem.
Yeah, because to be honest, so am I. I was looking for an opportunity. I nearly took it yesterday. There's a bit of blue flying around, or just hang on for a little bit more. Now it's in the red again. I've got my stop in, but it's worrying me. If this pound is like to strengthen a bit. Yeah. Anyway, I'm stuck in it with you. Right. Is the goal just now buy limit or a stop? No. A buy stop or a sell is above the market or below the market. This is, if you put it, if you're going at 2021, this is higher, which it is, it'll be a buy limit because you're putting an offer to buy at a lower price. You're not putting an offer above the market, you're putting an offer below the market. So buy limit is when you put an offer below the market to buy. Buy stop, you're putting an offer ordering above, like we did in the CPI. You put the buy stop means the order to buy it was above the present price. Are you with me?
Yeah.
A buy limit, you'd want to buy it.
Yeah,
You got it.
Okay.
Good enough. Good stuff, man.
Yes, sir.
I think Kalisa, Kalisa, just mute yourself, please. Got a bit of background noise coming in there. Like Mrs. CHF again, it's certainly come back a bit. Got the 30, we're getting 150, but 150, 30. And then what do you how could you get it? I hope you can miss it now. Kalisa, can you please mute yourself? Got a bit of background noise there. Thank you. Okay, I haven't really got much else to say on that. Gold's going up a little bit, it's okay. Just a bit disappointed. Anyone get the gold trade or actually get into it? Not from last night, I mean from this morning. Anyone get it? You got it. Okay, okay. Let's see it works out. Seem to be trying to move in the right direction. So there's not much else to say. I went through the lot today. We discussed again in the strategy room this morning, and even looked at shares. So the only one I did quite like was F-Stop. I don't know if anyone actually got it. Anyone get that sell limit triggered at 12? I think it got to 11.99 on the bid and 12 on the ask. You're going short 40 of the bid. I think you might, if you didn't get filled, and maybe one set missed it. But it did get into Ford. They're doing okay as long as you've got the right volumes. For the sake, don't do fractional on Ford. Look at the dollar rand. That's really a nightmare. Up to around, not quite to 19. Absolutely ridiculous. Well done, Henny. I hope it's well done. Well done so far. Don't jump the gun, Henny. Look at that rand, eh? People ask why. I'm certain. I'll tell you what's happening. I mentioned the carry trade before. Mentioned again. A lot of worry about Eskom, etc. Now, the problem is as well that there's very, very bad exchange rate. Oil, etc., is in dollars, which we import, which creates another problem because you've got to have oil, whether you like it or not. We're not on electrics yet. That's a bad problem as well. So, it's basically international losing faith in South Africa. I hate to say it, but it's the way it is. We might say, well, understandably, because it's just one sort of litany of disaster after another. Potholes, transport problems, you name it. Running out of money on the medical front, on the everything. Next thing, the police won't be able to pay them, and then it'll be complete. Yeah. Anyway, so so it's looking like there's going to be more pressure on the interest rate. One of the problems is that not a great differential in our interest rates now compared to the West. Before, when I say that, I'm talking about Europe and America, of course, the East, as in Japan, etc. Before, there's quite a bit of disparity. They do something called the carry trade, where they borrow large amounts of money in the country, let's say it's got 1%, and park it in the country it's got 5%, and they're getting a 4% return for doing nothing at all, basically.
Incoming mail.
I'll check in a minute. So, so you get my point. So if they can increase interest rates, they'll increase that disparity between our interest rates and the West. That will attract capital inflow, and if you're attracting a capital inflow, it'll therefore give some strength to the rand. Okay, so I'll just let you know on that one. Okay, hope that all made sense. If not, I can explain again. Make a big difference in your life, I'm just saying. All right, so you want to buy this? You want to buy the dollar? Not sure. To be honest, a dollar is a bit of an unhappy for me at the moment. PPI is coming out at 2:30. That might give some weakness or strength depending on the figures to it. I think again it's going to drift along around a bit. As I mentioned yesterday, I think 101 or 102 is going to be the range until something is going to push it through either barrier. I'm not sure I'd be buying this actually. I'm not sure I'd be selling it. There's too many ifs and buts, too many balls in the air on the dollar at the moment, Marius. I'm a little uncomfortable on it. Anyone more confident on the dollar than me? I'm a little bit more in favour of the selling of the dollar at the moment, yeah. If we can pick a direction, I think it's just momentary pushing up there, probably a few buyers bidding it up, a few bit of short covering bidding it up, bit of range trading. But I'm not sure, unless we get a fundamental outlook that's going to be good for the dollar, I'm not sure it's going to break 102. There's a good chance it drift back to 101. The way it's going, I would not be surprised to see 100 on the cards. I'm with you on that one, Mark. I'm not confident enough to go either way at the moment, but I'm leaning towards rather sell rather than buy the dollar. So you went long on this, you're clearly buying the dollar. Yeah, I'm with you on that. Yeah, I'm rather inclined to see downside on the dollar, but yeah. To be honest, if that was here, that price was there at the moment, I'd rather put a sell in and take it back here somewhere. The moment's a bit no man's land. It's a bit of resistance there, as you can see, but not enough for me to be confident of selling this yet. But I'd be leaning more to downside. Yeah, I'm with you on that with that book. Okay. Just going to check what that said there in the mailbox. Any value in that? Somebody have sent a trade out a couple of times, repeating it. Yeah, I think just sending it out again. I'm not quite sure why. Okay, this one is a possible if we get a decent price. This one I prefer. If you're with me on the weakness of dollar, I think this has got a possibility of some downside. It seems to be battling to break above there. If you want to do a dollar one, I'd probably pick this one with a stop up here somewhere. But if we get it, you need about 100. Is that 100? You have to really push your limits down there to get a risk reward. But I would rather be doing that. The only thing I'm not really getting jumping up and down and screaming eureka about it is look at these indecision ones here. So again, I think it's not the best I can come up with, but even that I'm a little bit nervous of at the moment. As I mentioned, you know, the sideways action is driving me scatty. We're just not getting momentum in either direction. We talk about EJ as a momentum strategy. You need momentum for the strategy to work. This is just sort of jumping around, you know, ad hoc almost. Might EJ, someone's on the board. Okay, all that. You're in front on that, you guys. Good point. Let's think of that. Good bloody right. Let's check it out. It can't. There you are. It's above it. If it's below that, let's say let's go for it. But never mind. I still think it's a possibility. What's it doing on 1 hour again? Bit indecision. I don't like these buyers coming in. What do you understand what I'm looking at when I get a bit nervous? Is I want direction. That's clear direction. This is on the 1 hour. I know it's short term. It's 55 minutes old. Always look at the time. So if it's 5 past, you might be looking at the hour, but actually the 5 minute candle. It's going to be going for 5 minutes. Okay, and it popped up. I get that looking for a sell, but I'm a little bit worried as it came off a bit. The buyers came back again. Look at that, it's even squeezing. Look at that for indecision. Look at that. So that's all that's telling me what the buyers and sellers are doing. I don't have to look at the other indicators. I can look at that candle and say what the buyers and sellers are doing, and they're in equilibrium. Sideways, no momentum on daily. Exactly that. It's basically in equilibrium. The buyers and sellers are even Stevens. If you want to buy, if the buyers are predominant, you want to go for it. Sellers predominant, you want to go for it. That candle is telling me neither's in control. So do you want to sit in this and then start worrying when it's going up and down, and playing with your head? Your direction, and then that's it, sort of thing. So yeah, but I think this is probably out of the dollar ones, probably my favorite. Look at the others if you like. Very short, I'm not confident on it. But look at the others in the meantime. Dollar CAD, go back to daily. So Canadian's not that strong either. So you're selling a weakish one, in my opinion, against not such a great one. I'd rather sell a weak one against a strong one. Like Japanese is reasonably strong, and the CHF is stronger still. You get my point? So that's not exactly blowing my head back. NZD, USD. That's not a great currency either at the moment. So it's in the buy area for the NZD. So we would buy this, we're selling the dollar. But has it come back enough to actually go for it? I question that as well. GBP, we've got a fundy coming out, so we'll jump in there anyway. Euro dollar. The euro is giving us some jip, but I still think I'll buy the euro over the dollar at the moment. But those have been smacked by the euro. It's a bit of a dirty word at the moment, so probably reluctant to play around with it again. We've had about 2 or 3 on them, and most of them haven't been doing too well, to say the least. But that's a possibility of some upside, even a weaker dollar. But yeah, so yeah, about the best. Sorry, guys, we come up with maybe the possibility here. Here's the 200. Let me think the EJ. Yep, maybe on the 200 on the EJ. Where's a 10? No, that's not going to work. Okay, so yeah, there might be a possibility on this one as a buy, and on the dollar just need to sell. About the best I can come up with. But again, look at this an hour. Try to pop up, indecision. Try to come off, indecision. And that's it. So when it does come off, I think granted the buyers come in. Again, look what's happened, the sellers coming in. That is major, major, irritating beyond belief indecision. You know, it's like going to the cinema or the theatre, and then you're waiting and waiting and waiting for the show to start. You know what I mean? Start to fidget. So don't get too down on yourself. This is not your fault, trust me. It's all Ken's fault, actually. Hey, is that right? Yeah. So yeah, it's just yeah. You can learn all the stuff, read all the books, but something happens. Yeah. And I was praying we could start getting stuck into it.
Yeah, mate, you can see it's all about the timing. At
Yeah.
some point, it will go up, but when, nobody knows.
Yeah, that's
As you can see, it's right at the bottom of those weeks where I usually say it should
Yeah.
be monitored so that when it jumps up, then we are all in.
Yeah.
So like you're saying, a bit of fundamentals will do.
Yeah, that should give it the kick. Yeah, the fundamental might give it the kick it needs. It might get a kick on the PPI. We'll see. But yeah, so we agreed to leaning towards the upside, but not enough confirmation, not enough direction. So in a nutshell, I agree to tell you what you said. Yeah. Yeah, I must admit, one thing it's so irritating these markets. It's good for the sales of the single malts because it drives you to bloody drink. Hey, so at least shame should invest in a single malt whiskey. It's certainly driving me to it. Okay, goals sideways as well. See the name of the game. It's 600 hole there. Yes, it's hole. Thank goodness for that. At least that 600 did hold. Pull back a bit, but probably the same thing as the hourly. Yeah, same sort of thing. Not that mine's doing it. Never mind. Yeah. Slow shedding gone. Just heard that in the background. Poor old inverter back in operation again. Yeah, because the see consensus load shed looks like it's actually really more like load level 8 rather than 6, I reckon.
You look at the schedule, stage 8 is 14.5 per day, where schedule 6 is 11.5 on my side.
Okay. All right, then. Well, I beg your pardon. It feels like it emotionally, but on a factual basis, maybe it is 6 then after all. Because I have to say, it's not 14, that's for sure, at the moment anyway.
My biggest concern is after 9 months from now, there are going to be problems at hospitals.
Yeah, because they don't have enough money to have the backup without electricity. Is that what you mean?
Yes, and what do you do if you can't watch TV? You go to bed.
Oh, yeah. Well, I suppose you can read if you got enough battery in your phone. I read a lot on my phone, you know. But if it's dark, it's bad for your eyes. You need a bit of background lights, you know. But you know, it's boring out the TV when you're in hospital. But my worry is a lot of guys rely on that power. And I didn't think about that. And if after a while the backups just not working, you're going to literally get fatalities, you know.
No, really, the situation currently is not to the greatest extent, and it can only get worse. Look at it right now.
What does it take to get something like done? Because something can be done, but it's got to be draconian, if you're familiar with the word. It's got to be radical. It's not sort of iffy stuff. It's got to be radical. I mean, unfortunately, you know, in the private sector, if the company's not making money, unfortunately, the guys have got to go. I remember closing a deal on that sort of thing. They got to go. And remember Facebook, they let the people go. But they're not letting them go, and it's overstaffed, and that's the crippling is the wage bill. And unfortunately, not doing anything about that. That would help quite a bit. But how do you do a draconian measure and start firing enormous amount of people? Because there's so many people in the country who are basically drawing a government wage rather than a private sector wage. You know, how are you going to tackle that? Because that is, what's it take to get that bloody dramatic? Drastic, as the word is.
No, it's true, but everybody is looking for a constructive plan from the powers or the people in power to tackle the problem. But it seems that the ball has just been kicked down the road.
Back and forth down the road, sort of like dribbled back and forth between the players, and no one's making any forward entrance towards the goal. Absolutely. Because they're all trying to avoid what needs to be done. You've got to start firing people. It's horrible, but it's the way it is, you know. I mean, I've heard horrible figures like 60% of the people in Eskom, mostly middle management, not the guys who are getting stuck in working the spanners, the artisans, but they're okay actually. It's this middle management paper shuffler. hordes and hordes and hordes of them. Paperwork is sort of generating more paperwork. And I don't really make much difference anyway, but it would save an astronomical amount of money, and they could plow that back into generation and paying off debt and relieving the government from paying the debt for them. But who's going to take that one on? That's what I say there, but it's the draconian, drastic measure required. What does it take them? Do they have no choice but to do it? It's a bit like trading. You keep holding on and holding on, hoping your trade's going to come right until you eventually run out of money, or you close the damn trade before that occurs. Same sort of principle.
No, it's true. But for example, there was an article that I read yesterday that the new Minister of Electricity is totally against the solar panels because that reduces the income of the municipalities and that do the imbalance of the poor further in South Africa. So what is his plan then? I mean, if you have that kind of publicity, what's next? I don't follow anything anymore.
What you just said doesn't make a lot of sense to me. They tend to use the poor as a political pawn. You know, it's nice to bring up, oh, what about the poor? Get mixing like it's the right thing to say, but don't really mean it. Number one, and number two, the municipalities aren't paying. That's one of the other problems with Eskom. The municipalities aren't paying, and the legal aspect is you can't close electricity off while you're doing it at the moment, but you can't legally switch it off. The load chain is different. They can't switch it off legally speaking for the human rights protection area being brought in. So the guys can't be cut off, but they're not paying it. So it's all really well to say, no, they're not paying it anyway. At number two. And number three, well, if you're not doing the job, then you've got to find another plan to get the need. You need the energy, you need the oil, you need electricity, you need, we're dependent on it, like the internet. And so none of that actually makes any sense. And if you pay a couple of million a year to make that kind of border dash comment, that makes me even more worried, you know? That's just lacking any form of rational common sense at all. I didn't see the article, I'm just telling what you said, but you know, that's got so many holes in it. It's like a bloody, not even a sieve, it's a big hole. And look what Hillary said there, he's from Zim, and it's only get worse if something isn't done now, and he's from there, so he should know. And it's not funny, no, it's not funny at all. I mean, the guy's got the tom to run. I suppose in a way I could have got the passport. I'm not broke, not multi-billionaire, but not broke. So yeah, I suppose I don't really want to, but at least some sort of a choice. But a lot of people don't have any choice. And my worry is if you leave it too long and the trigger comes along, there's going to be serious rioting. You know what cost the rioting? There was 50 billion rand, that Zuma riot. Kidding man, this kind of riot will be. But who's going to pay for it? Insurance companies won't. Government hasn't got any money left. You get it? It's just one literally a failure after failure. I wonder what Mandela would be thinking if he was alive now, Rick. What he fought for, what he went through, you know, the Rivonia Five, what they went through for this, unbelievable. Yeah, we've got Kubo's down the road. Kubo didn't really make something. Been going for a long time. Kubo didn't really make something. That's closed down now. I don't think I opened up yet a window, but anyway, that's what the we got. And even Zoom talked about nuclear, so put the fingers in front of it and say, do as much as you like, but you don't have the tom for it. I think you nearly get it for the Russians, actually. Yeah, if you go start working with China, mate, yeah, then you'll be a Chinese satellite. That's how they work. I don't think anyone really wants that. And their human rights and their country, I don't think they're going to worry about yours. Oh, well done. You meant to do that, Vianney. See, I'm supposed to be turning off the grid totally from electricity and water by using boreholes. How do you use the borehole for electricity? Well, I'm being thick here. Probably I'm being thick here. Oh, by the way, it reminds me. Ken's doing the trading room next week because I'm taking a week's leave. I thought I'd mention that. I'm not sure if I have one. So I won't be in next week, just so you know. Okay. I've looked at it and haven't looked at for a long time already, so I'll look in a moment. Let's go to the daily. Yeah, this is actually 100. This is the 50 here. On the hour, beg your pardon. See what you mean, yeah. Okay. Might be right, actually. You might be right. It's the 4 hour. From a range perspective, a bit of support there. High zone on here. You might be right. Let's go back to the hour. It starts to move. That's it. Look at this. What about the 15 minutes? Is there enough decision for you? The buyers are definitely coming in there, but it's not exactly giving enough momentum. Not bad, not bad. There was a stop loss down here. We're going back to daily, yeah. Put the stop down. Yeah, we put the stop below the 50. Actually, put a little bit wide if you want, down there, below these guys here. And it wasn't there since 1st of May. It's about 2 weeks, just under. I'll give you about 90 odd pips. So we need about, what, 140 odd. It's not going to work. So you might have a bit of noise around that. So you're going to get a 1-to-1 if you go there. You'd have to take it up to here. In a reasonable risk reward if you want to do that. Comes that in a minute, Mundler. Let's start this one. If you feel I could achieve getting to there, I like your long. I'm quite happy with that, by the way. Well done. If you feel it's going to get there, you get a risk reward. If you feel it's going to get there, we can still do it. We can have to do a tighter stop. And I'll do that again. If you feel it's going to get to these guys here, let's put the previous body there, not the width of the body. Yeah, I'll talk about, up you go. Yeah, about 100 pips. You need about a 60 pip stop to make it work or better. Yeah, I could probably squeeze it to there if you like it. Not bad. Nothing's going to make me jump and run around. Who was it? Archimedes, was it? Ran around shouting Eureka when he discovered his equal volume of water, whatever. Anyway, Archimedes principle. But I still think it's okay. What do you think, guys? It's not bad. Not bad, Antonio. Not bad at all. What do you reckon, guys? Blowing anyone's hair back on this?
Yeah.
Monday agrees. I quite like it, actually.
There was only today some bad results reported from New Zealand. I think they mentioned, Marius, correct me if I'm wrong, something like only 2 or 3 of their companies that supplied profits or declare profits.
Okay. We're buying New Zealand dollar, hey?
Yes.
Yeah. I still think it's not bad. All right, then maybe just go in if you want to do a trade. Maybe this is smaller than you normally would. Maybe risk a smaller amount. I have to say, I still do quite like it still. But you're going to have a stop down here. And then you're going to go to the will that cut it? I don't think so. 85.70. Don't think it's going to cut it. Have a look anyway. No, it's not. That's definitely not going to cut it. See them immediately. We'll have to do here. 85, maybe 86. That will cut it. Even that's pushing it a bit. I don't want to tie the stop than that. You just about squeeze it. Don't want to do it? It's $100 a shot. If you want to risk 500, maybe go for 2 instead of 5 micros or something. I would suggest if you got less than 1,500, rather leave this one. But yeah, it's not bad. It's definitely better than 50% probability, in my opinion. Nice to just get through the around figure 85, but yeah, don't use that. I think it's bad. What do you think? Do you want to wait a bit, or what do you reckon, guys? So I'm not jumping up and down, but I think it's better than 50. It's not bad. Yeah. Better than I can come up with anyway, put it that way. Okay, Dirk, that's fine. Well, Antonio came up with the idea, so let's see how we I'll put that down. NZDJPY by Anthony. $84.98. See how that works out. Okay, it might be a bit slow. Don't forget the market is a bit slow. And that can't, as long as it goes in the right direction. But yeah, just bear that in mind. Okay, we'll move on to the FTSE. Let's still do that. We haven't done the FTSE for a while, actually. Now on the daily, what do you say there? Jump to 7,734, 7,7. That's not very much of a jump. I think just sideways trading, that's all. Anything more sexy than that, I'm afraid. Anna Marie. Okay, Michael, look at that moment. Yeah, to be honest, I think that's just sideways movement. No other cause than that. Just traders trading their own trading. Prospects of NAS going up. Let me get out of the NAS. I said it possibly could go to 13.5. I think 13.5 will hold. Will it get there or not? Who knows? But I wouldn't be joining it now. Oh, hang on. On the weekly, you've got this guy here, which is coming up, which could cause a bit of technical resistance. I wouldn't be on the long side from here, no. I think if you're not in now, rather wait to maybe confirm the whole of the 100-day moving average and maybe set it down. Oh, on the 1 hour, on the FTSE, okay. Oh, I see what you mean, okay. Maybe anything on the economic calendar? I think everyone's got the economic calendar. If you haven't, just let me know, I'll post for you. Nothing came out there. Don't know. Maybe just a big player came in and suddenly decided to buy up a lot of shares. I don't know. But it doesn't seem to be very successful because it seems to be pulling back as we speak. Unless it's derivative raise trading, a large derivative position. Remember derivatives, you put $1 million down, 100 to 1, the contract value is 100 million, so you're controlling 100 million rands worth of the FTSE. So it might be that, but let's come over here. And the NAS I'd leave. If you're going to have to do it, I'd rather look for short or long, but maybe get a better price for the 100 days. See, we're drifting towards that. Talk about drifting, gold's drifting at the moment as well. Bloody awful, isn't it? NZD CAD. Say, fine enough to drive to whiskey, driving to drink this.
Hello, Mr. Rogers.
Go for it.
On Dow Jones Micro, I've noticed that the entry price is 33,520. So when I try to place the order, it's 33,520.0. My concern is that on the on the signal, there's no comma next to the 20. It's just 33,520. So I'm not sure if maybe I should place the order. So I thought I should ask maybe if it doesn't matter if the numbers were just put like that. But on the new order, if it's 33,520, then is it okay?
Give me a minute.
Okay.
That's correct. The signal's correct.
All right.
33,520. Don't worry about the decimal point. That's irrelevant. 33,520 TPSL. It's 33,000, is it? It's not 335. It's 33,500. Yeah.
All right.
If you want to do it, I like the trade. If you want to do it, if you're not in, go for it. You're getting a better price. It will be instead of 55 a micro, it's about $50 a micro if you go in now, because you're getting a better price. So work on $50 a micro and set it at market. Yeah, same stop loss and TP, and you got a 50 risk for about 110 reward. You're getting a better risk reward basically.
All right. So, it was just the decimal point that I noticed on the new order. Otherwise, I played. Yeah.
There is no decimal point. It's not necessary.
It's not
It's 0.1. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Points and picks, like the euro dollar. You don't, I'm not worried about that 5 or 8. This is the figure here. Not worry about it. It's the picks are up points. Okay.
Thank you very much, sir.
Okay. Sorry, go back to Mandarin. Yeah, I think buyers coming off of him, so can't really read too much on that. The FTSE, NZD CAD. Wait for a better price, 84.53. The wrong one. I thought it made no sense. NZD CAD, beg your pardon. 84.53 down here. Or down here. 53. Looking around about that level. I see what you mean. You're looking about that maybe. This might hold. Yeah, if you think the dollar's using dollar, it seems to be in the buy zone, it seems to be a little bit stronger. I'm not quite sure why, actually, to be honest. That in the strong zone at the moment, but never mind, that's what the buyers think, and we got to follow the money, as they say. Yeah, I think you could get at 53, might even get a better one at 81.80, 84.80. It's a possibility here. But remember, if you're already in the NZD one, maybe squeeze another one, but we don't want to do more than a couple. I'm always worried about being overexposed in one currency, having too many trades in one currency, just in case it goes pear-shaped. And then I've got, if you're risking, let's say, 500 Rand a trade, and it goes pear-shaped, you've got 3 of them, the NZD or the Canadian or the dollar or whatever, you end up risking 1,500, it might be a bit heavy. You want to diversify, so at least 1 or 2 might come to the party. So you could go for another one, but yeah. It's just a sideways. Sorry, Michael, I hear you big time. I'm sorry, I'm boring myself. I'm pretty sure I'm boring you. It's just a sideways, lack of sort of any direction. It's frustrating me a bit. You can't say with great confidence. I was okay with the NZJPY. I'm not sure I want to add another NZD to my portfolio, to be honest. Just change subject. See, Benedict Bouani, you've got the economic calendar, haven't you, Alfred? You've all got the economic calendar. Abdul, if you're not, I'll copy and post it for you on the chat line here. Well, yes or no on the chat line. If you haven't got it, I'll post it for you. You got it, don't worry. Eurozone government bond yields fell for a second day. Okay, running on Thursday after Dodge inflation cool. Okay. Yes means you got it, or yes, they've argued it's good. I'm not quite sure what to mean by that. Post it anyway. Doesn't really matter. Oh, you don't have it? Okay, well, I'm about to have it now. There you are. If you don't have that, you're probably going to have the dollar index. I'll do that. Whilst I'm at it, I'll just put the number in there. Okay. Just go back to reading that. Give me a moment. Okay, fair enough. Consumer price index. Yeah. Yeah. Basically, yeah. Okay, no problem there. I suppose they're looking upon that CPI as slightly positive, even though it came as expected, because at least inflation wasn't increasing. And to be fair, it takes time for the interest rate change to trickle down to the market to have a big effect on the market. It's not like an immediate effect on price. It takes a bit of time to work its way in. So maybe that's a positive area. I don't know. Okay. I was going a moment, don't forget, save your charts, guys. You haven't, do it now. Right click at a blank part of your chart. This drop down box comes, go down to templates and save your template. If you lose your charts, put your name in there and save it clearly. And if you lose your charts, all you use your right click, go back to templates and you pick the one you want and away you go. Okay, don't forget that. If you want information, like I said, you can just pick anything. I don't know, we'll pick this one. All right, that's already there. Right click on it, left click, and that'll give you all the properties of the specific instrument you're in. Margin, contract size, the spread, it's all there. So you know. Okay, yeah. It's slower than that, but it seems to be pushing up slightly. It might get a 12.5, 13.5, sorry, but I don't think it's going to break that. GBP, CHF, anything happening there? Go to short term. Stoddle. Doll's hovering round about the entry mark or just better. And the Dow popping up and down, I think, last I looked. 15-minute. Yeah, just sideways. Okay, very quiet. Maybe we might get some. Might hope to goodness we do get some a bit of a break on the PPI later on at 2:30. Maybe that'll give us some direction. So, can't handle this day in day out sideways. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure you can't. You haven't paid all this money, taken all this time and all this effort to sit looking at a chart going sideways. You know what I mean? So believe me, I'm as frustrated as you. Like a little kid in the candy shop, we get action. Like we got a bit in the CPI yesterday. That's great fun. We're not doing a session, by the way, guys, at 2 o'clock. But if you got the idea of the buy stop, sell stop, maybe if you want to have a bash at it yourself, but this time don't go too big. It's not quite the same as the other one, but the market is screaming for direction. And this might be the tip that gives it. So if you want to do it, clearly I won't be there, but you can do it. Remember, it's about shooting about $2 on the gold. It's completely separate or in gold. It's a totally separate trade. If we'll do the dollar yen, you know, you make it say we'll just say about 10 pips above and below the same the euro dollar. If you want to do that. Carol, I don't know about that. You have to wait. Yeah, wait for you at 221 and then put a forward order for next year. Okay. Slight exaggeration of the bloody snail racing speed of it. I don't know, $1. If you agree with the app, if you agree with the long power, I don't think $1 is going to kill you, to be honest. If you want to go in now, I don't right, got the spread you can tell me, you're getting at 223, I'll get you there. It's up to you. If you want to take it now, I haven't had a major problem with that. It could drift down, it could sideways, anything could happen. But yeah, if it was about 225 or 226, I think that, to me that ship would have sailed a bit. But I think if you want to do it now, I suppose you could. Or wait, I can't make that call. It's impossible. But yeah, it was not a disaster. You haven't sort of jumps on board when it's halfway across the ocean, put it that way. Okay, all good with that? Any questions? You're a GBP, that's interesting. Well, it's in the sell zone. Bit nerves of €70 down there, giving some surprising jip on it. I'm not sure I will continue the selling of it. If you want to buy it, you're buying the sell zone with a 1 o'clock interest rate decision to come in, which could force you further down. I'm very, very tepid on this one, to say the least. Does anybody fire up some enthusiasm on the buy or sell on this one? Because I certainly ain't keen. Anyone feel they can see something here? If you're going to buy it just before an interest rate decision is coming out, might be a little bit wary of that, and it's in the sell zone. To sell it, you've got to be pretty confident the pound's going to strengthen quite a bit against what used to be, and I still think isn't going to wake up a fairly strong currency with a nation that's got a very high inflation rate, highest of the lot, in fact. I think there's too many head and tail winds to give me anything going either way on this. I think probably rather wait till after 1 to see what happens. Yeah, that's what I strongly suggest. So this might go off for a better value, but just CHF JPY, has it pulled back anything? No, I think we missed it. I wanted to get it 50, came back, nearly got there, didn't quite. No, it's not. I'm not keen enough. That's about it, guys. I can't think of anything really. I'm sorry. So it's a hassle. Not really particularly new or exciting stuff. It's a little bit more of the same. We've got a couple of trades out, sent out to everyone in the trading room. Let's have a quick check on that. NZDJ Gold, yeah, buy 84.98. Anything happening there? Ah, hang on. And Tony, you're the man. $84.98, a buy. So you're 37 pips in profit. Right, guys. Aha, it's like changing body language. Have you noticed that? Right, guys, there you are. You can bring it up to the round figure. You can bring your stop loss and modify 85, then you're nice and secure going forward. And that's done pretty quickly. In 1 hour, you've managed to take the risk out of the trade if you do as I suggest and modify the stop loss. That's the way to go. Well done. Well done. I think it's Fenter, isn't it? Well done, Manila Fenter. Got that one in the center, Mr. Fenter. Hang on, he's not there anymore. There we go. It was load shedding. Hadn't there to get the virtual pat on the back. But one went in there. No, I wouldn't chase it now. No, the risk rewards worked out on the entry where it was. You'll be all up to cock. I don't want to push the GP, so that ship's gone. But okay, difficult. That's a good point. I thought that. NZDJPY. Yeah. So if anybody go for it, not what me going on about it, if nobody went for it. Because I know it's Anthony's idea, it might need to disappear, I think, out of business or load shedding or whatever. But if you did go for it as the signal came on an hour ago, brilliant. Yeah, you can modify to 85 and then take the risk out. I won't be chasing it down there. Let's have a look, see. Let's have a look at a few. Broad decisions. Good question, Anna Marie. You got me thinking now. Little bit nervous of the dollar. We'll have a look anyway. We'll have a look at anyway. Maybe do this one. Let's have a look at the 15-minute. Yeah, because the dollar's looking a bit iffy as well. So we get a bit of strength in this one and the dollar looking a bit weak as well. It might compound the upside. And yeah, I think this might be a bad idea. Okay, try that one, Anna Marie. You used it before 10 pips, about 80 bucks a micro as your risk. So you must do a straddle trade on this one, you can. And if you do the PPI, you can use, well, dollar, yen, dollar, euro, dollar, or gold. We don't have a major fundamental out every day. We'll trade anything else. Just straddle the bloody thing every time, mate. That'll be all right, hey? Forget morning and afternoon, just going at 2 to 3 and knock off for the rest of the day. Try that, okay. So if you want to do that one, for 1 o'clock, do that. So on the PPI at 230, do the euro dollar, Japanese yen, or gold. Pick one of those. Doing the gold's $2 above and below, and the same 10 pips above and below on the currencies, 80 rand a micro. And if you're doing the gold one, it's 20 rand a micro as your risk. Mandela, no, it's not a buy or sell trade, it's a straddle trade, where you put a buy stop and a sell stop. We don't know it's going to be a buy or sell to the information release, and one of those trades is triggered. It could be the buy or it could be the sell. I'm leaning towards the buy because interest rate, but then again, Fund will say, hang on a minute, Roger, the same thing we lean towards the euro and interest rate went up in August starts, euro came off. So don't get cute. So put it above and below, and wherever the market decides it wants to go, you grab that one and the other one you delete. So it's not about both sides. You only put a stop loss TP and put it in afterwards. You with me? Good stuff. Don't want to do that. Yeah. 1 o'clock is this one. Go on the 15-minute. Make sure, for goodness sake, neither order is filled before 1 o'clock. So if you put in too early, make sure you start manipulating that buy stop, sell stop placing. We don't want to get one filled until, of course, the market releases, and then you just delete the one that is not filled. I hope that is completely clear. Actually, come to think of it, Anna Marie, can't just see my head. Maybe I'll have a look at it at 1 o'clock and telling everyone else how to do it, forget to do it myself. Report back at 4. I'll do the PPI as well. I think just be change and do the dollar yen, the PPI, just a big change. Yeah, Marley. Don't blame me. I'm sorted. It's everything bad. You know the straddle trade we talked about. Anna Marie asked, the interest rates coming out of the pound at 1 o'clock. Which pound instrument should we use, or which pound forex pair should we use? And I thought this is probably a nice one to use. So just mention if you want to do the one at 1 o'clock, straddle trade 10 above, 10 below, the normal way like we did yesterday. On the pound dollar, nothing more, nothing less than that. As a matter of fact, you triggered my stirring there, Anna Marie. So I want Dirk to do one of the, and you do another one. So now maybe you pick the JPY or something and see who wins. And I'll tease whoever doesn't win. Okay, sounds good to me. Have a bit of fun competition. The battle of the sexes. Yeah. We used to have it in the trading room here, Dirk. Battles of sexes till the women were getting more of them right than the men. So in a petulant huff, we dropped the idea. Is now, yeah. Not sure how long that's going to be maintained. In fact, it's a bit of resistance there. Don't know how much that's going to be maintained. Might even get there, but I wouldn't be buying that. I might sell if it gets there, depending on the dollar, but I'd leave it alone anyway. But if you want to use this as a PPI, you can. 230.
Mr. Rogers,
Go for it.
let's say you entered the trade too early and it's still pending, but then you notice that you entered too early. Is it okay to delete it and then enter again?
No problem at all. It's just a placed order, not the market. There's no cost involved. Just
Okay.
delete it. If you're uncomfortable, if you got it on the chart like I did, and comfortable about sort of dragging it up or down, or having problems with that, rather just delete it and enter it again.
All right, because I noticed there are no trend lines between the TP and the stop loss. So I'll have to delete it again and then wait for the right
Yeah,
time to enter.
If you do the structure, don't worry about the SLTP. Only put that in if one of them's triggered. You delete the opposite one that's not triggered, and then you can put your SLTP in. Yeah. But if you've got it a little bit early and starts approaching it, just all you do then is you quickly go to the place trade. It's going up and it's pretty close to your buy stop. Good, and it's just delete it. That's what you do. And
Okay,
then
thank you, sir.
stop down and put it in again. Absolutely.
All right,
Remember, it costs you. It doesn't cost anything. You're not in the market. It's just I'm offering to buy your car for 20 rand, but it doesn't cost me anything, and I'm wasting my time anyway. They're going to sell it me 20 rand anyway. I'm just being slightly ridiculous there, but yeah, just no cost involved. Just pending order.
all right.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. We'll note of that. Might be an idea. See how you do with the PPI then. We'll note that to remind me. Yeah. Gold still sort of hovering, doing anything? Hovering. Don't know if Gerard, are you still there, Gerard? Or you left, but anyway, if you're still there, if you took it, it's up a little bit. Anything happening on the Dow? Not much. Quiet. You took it, yeah, okay. Well, it should be up a little bit. I don't know what price you got in. Should be okay. Should have got in around about the 2023 mark. And the NZD-JPY. Actually, anybody take it? He's doing well. Anybody take it? I know Anthony did, but he's left. Maybe load shedding or whatever. I mean, left the trade or not. Anybody else do that? Anyone do that trade this morning, hour ago, whatever? You didn't take it. Pity, because that's actually done quite well. Oh, did you? You're late. Well, don't chase it, Harry. Too late. I meant too late. Didn't take it. Okay, fair enough. You took the NZD instead, the CAD. Don't know what price you went in, but if you, oh, I see what you mean, yeah, off the break off, yeah, I think it's Anna Marie's idea. What was it? Anyway, yeah, so you got in right about these levels. Yeah, we should be start to look at it. A bit of blue should be there for you. Okay, fair enough. Am I right there, Dirk? Got a bit of blue on that one? $96. There's a bit of blue on that one. Couple of pips, better than kicking the. Yeah, it's not a lot, but it's better than the red, eh? Okay, anything to add, guys?
Yes, mate.
Okay, go for it, Ken.
Any correlation between GBP and euro? Can you please help?
It's a question, that. Actually, quite a interesting question. There's still trade. I know that Brexit, we all know about that. But I mean, it doesn't say they don't trade through the euro area anymore. And it's sort of geographically very similar. I'm not sure, to be honest. I see the point behind your question. In theory and rationality, there might be some similarity, but they've opened up a lot of trade areas with America, I don't think it's that much, to be honest. I know Germany clearly the biggest economy in the Eurozone, although that's looking like it's going into recession as well. But I think a slight, but not a heck of a lot. Yeah. But I take your point. I see why you're asking it. Yeah, makes sense in theory, but because they are still trading, but they will want a stronger euro. They want a decent trading. They want the guys there to buy their product, but it's not their sole area. So to a certain extent, but I wouldn't really base a trading strategy on that. Put it that way. Myself, anyway. It's not a bad point. Not a bad point. Well made. Well, like the marks, we're drifting along a bit now. Maybe we should wrap it up. Unless there's anything else you want to chat about. For those who want to do the straddle on the pound interest rate, the PPI, tell me, and we can discuss later at 4 o'clock how it went. There you are. Somebody maybe to keep you occupied from a trading perspective. And thank you for attending, Mr. Pina, Munir Pina. Okay, guys, good to have you with us, Abdul and Company. You've all got my number if you want it. You've all got the economic calendar and the DXY, the dollar index. And yeah, enjoy the rest of the day, and we'll have a chat about what happened to the two decisions later on. See if anything can get squeeze some decent stuff out of that. And hope the trade will go out all right. There's not many people in the JPY wants a pity, but to be honest, are okay. Not shoot the lights up, but that's the market for you at the moment. At least they're okay. So we'll catch you later. Cheers, guys. Hope you got sorted out, Festus, with that problem. And Obed, that is. Yeah, put it down. Put it down again before I go. Just hang on that, Abdul. Just remember, not for demo accounts. If you're on a demo account, it shouldn't even be in the trading room, actually. It's only for live accounts and fund. Funded doesn't mean $100. It's going to be funded. Okay. All right, guys. Thanks very much indeed. Cheers.